All right, today's episode, we're going to talk about how to get your butt into the game.
Or in other words, glute activation.
So we're going to show you some drills and some exercises that are going to help you to contract that glute.
And this isn't just for people who want to get bigger peaches, even though you can. It's for people who want to get the most gains out of their leg day routines.
All right, see you guys inside.
Let's go. All right, guys. So the next exercise that we're going to perform is a hip thrust. A hip thrust is a really good exercise to get that really good glute activation. In addition to the hip thrust, we're going to add an extra bit of intensity by putting on a band around the knees. That's going to assist us in our hip abduction. All right? So when performing a proper hip thrust, we want to make sure, one, that our heels are pressing to the ground, our toes are facing out. That make sure that we get the effort where we want it, which is right in the glute area. Okay? The second thing we want to do is squeeze at the top when we thrust those hips forward. Again, we're pressing the hips forward. So one more time, we're squeezing at the top. Simultaneously, while this is happening, we are pressing our knees out, looking against that band to ensure that we're getting that abduction. The abduction is improving our squat ability, our lunge ability, pressing out. So it's right there in that hip and glute area. All right, so a few things can be done improperly when performing this exercise. One of them is putting the toes on the floor. So when Najee throws his hips up now, feet on the floor, we're putting effort into other parts of the leg that we just don't need, like our quads. Okay? Another improper way to do this is by overextending. As you can see, he's now lifting his entire back off the ground, and we're not even focused on the proper area, again, the glutes. It's an unnecessary amount of energy put in, okay? The third thing that you possibly could see improperly done is not pressing the knees out. Again, so we need that abduction to work on our hip and glute area. It helps with the squats, okay? This is the same type of energy you put into performing a squat. We don't want our knees together. We need to push them out while thrusting those hips up, okay? So we're gonna do 3 more times just to show you exactly what it should look like. Again, his heels are in the ground, glutes are squeezing at the top, knees are pressing out simultaneously, and the energy is going right there into that glute, getting everything away. One more time. Looking good. All right, and that's how you do a proper hip thrust.
All right, guys, we are about to go over the clamshell. All right, clamshell is a great exercise that helps you focus on that glute. All right, so we're gonna start lying down. All right, we have our shoulder stacked, we have our knee stacked, we have our hips stacked, we have our feet stacked. All right, we're going to dorsal flex, which means we're going to pull our toes towards our knees. All right, we have our knee hip at about a 45-degree angle. All right, and Maka is going to control the band by moving through her knees. All right, give me 3 reps, please. All right, nice. If you notice, her toe follows her knee the whole time. All right, so she's leading with that knee. All right, something that you might commonly see is that a person leaves their foot on the other foot, all right, and they open like this. All right, you might feel something because you have a nice band on you, but that is enforcement and proper mechanics, all right? So when it comes to your squatting, your lunging, your deadlift, that movement can hurt you down the road, all right? Also, what you might see is someone trying to overcompensate for the band, and they move their upper body to try to open up the band a little bit more. So let's show that version, Maka. All right, did you see the rotation in the shoulders, the rotation in the hip? All right, go back down. That's what we don't want. It's okay that if the band only comes up halfway, so give me a little one. If that's as far as you can get, that is great. You are building and moving with the right muscle. All right, again, she's gonna show you, again, proper form. Lead with the knee, the toe follows. Good job, let's get one more. And Maka, how does that feel?
It feels good. All right, guys. So the next exercise that we're going to demonstrate are band walks. So when performing a band walk, the first thing you want to do is make sure that the band is placed slightly above the knee. Okay, this helps with that abduction. The next thing you want to do is sit your hips back like you're sitting in a chair. You're going into a half squat, not a full squat. You're also ensuring that your feet are about shoulder width apart and you are pressing your knees out. All right, so when you begin your band walk, you are stepping to the side and leading with the knee. Najee is showing us to lead with the knee when pressing out. Knees are pressed, sitting into that half squat and taking nice steps to make sure that we have intensity on the band at all times, not bring the feet too much together. All right, thank you for that, Najee, that's perfect. So now we're gonna show you some things that are improper when performing this walk. One thing is not sitting in a squat enough. All right, so now Najee's kind of bent his back over. He's not really sitting in a squat, he's just bent forward. Okay, so we're no longer working that glute activation, we're just bending over, which is taking away from the exercise. The other thing that you'll see someone do is not keeping their feet shoulder width apart and more. Okay, so he's bringing his feet way too close together here. When his feet are close together, he's taking the intensity off of the band and it's taken away from that abduction. That's not what we want. He's gonna go back the other way and show you the final improper way to do this exercise, where he is now leading with his foot. As you can see, that is just absolutely the wrong thing to do. You might see a lot of people do this and they're not pressing their knee out. Instead, they're leading with the foot and that can cause severe damage to that knee. That's not what we want. So Najee, we're gonna take it back the other way and show us just a few times the proper way to do this. Again, leading with the knee. Foot and knee are parallel. He's sitting in a half squat. He's also keeping his feet shoulder width and more to keep that intensity on the band. All right, perfect. And that is how you perform a band walk.
Guys, now we're going to go over our heel lifts. All right, our heel lifts is going to help us to again engage and focus on that glute contraction, that glute activation. All right, so Maka is starting out knees on the ground, hands on the ground, right? She's going to extend her left leg, all right? And as you see, we have that toe pointed towards the knee, we have that dorsiflexion, all right? Maka is then going to move her heel up, focusing through the glute, all right? And as you notice, I stopped the heel about parallel, all right? Come down and come back up. Drop it down, come back up. The reason why I'm focusing on the placement of being about parallel is because we really want to drive through that glute. All right, some things that you might see wrong when people do this is they're trying to get that heel up too high. So throw that heel up too high and bend the knee when you do it. Boom. Now we're taking the emphasis off of our glute. All right, drop it back down. Show that one again one more time for me. Again, now we're taking the emphasis off of that glute. All right. Again, we want to keep that. Oh, and then also another way that you might see this perform wrong is the toe is pointed back. All right. The toe is pointed back. It's kind of a dancer's kick right now. All right. Put it down. So again, we want to pull that toe towards our knee. We want to push that heel back. We want to go up to about parallel and we're driving through the glute, all right? Let's get a couple more. Up, control it down. Up, control it down. One more, and control it down. And guys, that is our heel lifts.
All right, guys, so the next exercise that we're going to demonstrate, we like to call them butterflies. Okay, this exercise is really great, again, for that glute activation, but also working those abductors, okay? In addition, this exercise also helps with foot placement. For those of us who wear a lot of sandals or just have naturally flat feet like I do, this is a really good exercise to help you get your feet back on track, okay? So when performing this exercise, a few things you want to do, first and foremost, is have a band slightly above the knee. The second thing you'll want to do is have a band around your feet, okay? So it's right there in the arch of your foot, okay? Right there, pretty much in the middle. Okay, so when performing the exercise, first you want to get in a half squat, not fold to half, okay? Hips are sitting back like in a chair, okay? And you're also pressing your knees out. The other thing you're doing is making sure that your feet are flat on the floor. All 10 toes are touching the floor evenly, okay? So when performing the exercise, you want to start by letting your knees cave in, okay? And then you explosively press them out. All right, now she's gonna perform it again. Again, working those glutes and the abduction. One more time. And as you can see, his feet are flat the entire time. He's pressing his knees out. Those toes and his feet are staying flat on the floor. Okay, so when performing this exercise properly, one of the things that you'll see is someone not sitting fully in the squat. So they'll be standing up way too much, maybe their back is just arched. Okay, so we're not getting that activation in the glutes like we want. We want to be in a half squat. We're helping improve our squat and lunge ability. Okay, the next thing you see is someone whom is not keeping their feet flat on the floor. So they will roll their toes and feet inward. So now we're leaning on the arches, which is absolutely incorrect. The other thing you'll do is they'll roll their feet out to the outside, the edges. We don't want that either, okay? When performing squats or any other exercises, our feet are flat on the floor, okay? And the other thing that you would see someone not doing is pressing their knees out properly, okay? So we want to make sure that the press is intense, letting the knees cave in, pressing all the way out. Okay, so now she's going to show us about 3 more times what it looks like properly. In half squat, knees pressing out against that band, and feet are staying flat on the floor. Give us 1 more. All right, and those are the butterflies.
Got it bumping.
So guys, hope you enjoyed that. Those are a few exercises that you can throw into your leg day routine to help increase your squat, deadlifts, and lunges.
Okay, and be sure to like and share this video. Also, hit us up with any questions you might have about your glute activation exercises, leg workouts, or just any type of workout you have, period. Also, be sure to stay tuned for our next episode coming to you soon. Until then, we'll see you later.
Peace.